as you read by the thumbnail, I'm going to talk about something that happened to me. I was in a crash in October. It was October 3rd. Just a normal day. And my son rides, so it was just a ritual that we go and get coffee. So there's a place down the street, Dunkin' Donuts, no big deal. It was hot, you know, probably a mile away. Decided I didn't need a helmet. Left the house. Rode down the road. Next thing I know, I'm in an ambulance. Now let me just say this. Gear is put out there for you to wear, and I learned a hard mistake that day. As you can see I'm not wearing a jacket either right now. But I now always wear a helmet, no matter how hot it is. It's 100 degrees here in Florida right now, but I will always put a helmet on because it just... I will explain the injuries. I will tell you the injuries I had. Show you some pictures. Hopefully it doesn't bother anybody. And it's important that I get this message out because it almost killed me. Riding down the road, guy didn't know where he was going, decided to slam on his brakes right in front of me because he missed his turn. I probably was riding too close at the time. And that's the last I remember. I do actually remember the back end skidding. I was on the ZX6R, no ABS. And granted, there was probably things I was doing wrong. That's for another video, but I know I didn't hit the car in front of me, but I remember being thrown, and obviously I didn't have a helmet on. And apparently my head hit the pavement at 45 miles an hour by my injuries. I don't remember anything other than that. I remember the next thing I remember is I'm waking up in an ambulance and wondering where my keys are, how my bike is. Where's my keys? Where's my keys? They said that I wouldn't let them put me in the ambulance until I had my keys, which that's... I guess I was awake on the side of the road. I don't remember any of that, thank God. It's probably something I don't want to remember. Yeah, but anyway, I wake up in the ambulance. I remember the police officer on scene was a friend of mine. And I told him to go get my family. I know I was bleeding all over. I could feel it, but oddly enough, I was not in any pain. I guess I was in shock. So what I had was, I had shattered my wrist, the one on the left. I had a fractured skull, brain bleed, 14 or 15 fractures in my face. I had road rash all over. Broke my nose. Had burns from I guess the exhaust or the street, something. I have no clue, because again, I wasn't awake. They take me to the hospital, and I guess I'm slurring words. By that time, my family had gotten there, and they had said that I was mumbling. So they insisted that I get a CT scan, another third CT scan of my brain, and that's when revealed the brain bleed. So that wasn't a level 1 trauma unit, so they had to take me to Orlando Regional Medical Center, letting me know that I possibly would have to get surgery on my brain, and to relieve pressure and the bleeding and the blah blah blah. But anyway, so they take me to ORMC. by the grace of God, by the time I got there, the swelling had started to go down. They said I would not need surgery. And it's so funny because I guess I am a Christian. I am definitely a Christian, but I'm not a over-the-top Christian. At least at that time I wasn't. And they said, they call it plastic surgeon in because my face was a mess. And the plastic surgeon got there, and from some tests that they did, they decided, or they didn't decide, it was revealed that I had no displaced fractures in my face. I would need not a single surgery other than my wrist. So right there is a miracle. The doctors all said I was a miracle. To this day, they don't know how I'm alive, hitting the pavement that hard with no helmet on. Even the doctor said, the plastic surgeon said when he got the call, 56-year-old male, motorcycle accident, no helmet, he said, oh honey, I'm not going to be home for a while. I'm probably going to have to put this guy back together. And by the time he got there, he said, oh my God, I don't know how this is possible, but you don't need any surgery on your face, which was good. And I was aware, I was awake. So by the grace of God. Now let me preface by saying I may have said in another video, I am a weightlifter. And actually the doctors had said my bone density is off the charts from weightlifting with heavy weights, which I'm thankful that I did. They said anybody else would have been either killed or had 10 times more injuries. They said because you're a weightlifter and your bones are so dense, it saved you. Whether you believe that or not, I believe it. But yeah, I spent 3 days in the hospital, which is another miracle, which they thought I was going to be there for a while. Yeah, that's when pain set in. I was definitely in pain after that, obviously. Once everything... Oh, and so I had a cast on from, I don't know, I want to say from my wrist all the way up to the middle of my bicep, which was really uncomfortable. And the doctor had said, look, we can do a 25-minute surgery, put the steel plate in your wrist, and you'll be good to go. So I said, sure. And had that surgery, put a steel plate in my wrist. And then all I had to wear was a neoprene cast, which that was great too. So I ended up going home and, rehabbed I was out of work for 5 months. It was brutal because that's when road rash started to really hurt. I was getting it cleaned out. If you've ever had road rash, it's not fun. Especially when you're in the emergency room and they're scraping stones out of your wounds and setting your wrist and you have bleeding head and it's just not fun. So I don't recommend it. I do recommend that you wear gear. As I say, as of right now, I'm not wearing gear, so I'm a bad influence right there. But I do wear gear when it's not 100 degrees. I know that's no excuse and I'll be yelled at for it, but I would recommend wearing gear because if I had gear on and a helmet, I probably would have just broke my wrist. It turns out now I have headaches, small focal seizures in the morning just from the brain injury. So let that be a lesson. Wear a helmet. If anything, wear a helmet. Please. Please wear a helmet because it can save your life. I was lucky. You might not be. That's kind of where my spiritual journey started. I was going to church before that. I was one of them every other Sunday kind of deals, but now I go all the time. I volunteer there. I mean, I was spared for a reason. I don't know what that reason is yet. wasn't to Motovlog, but who knows? Maybe to tell everybody to wear a helmet. I will post pictures from the hospital, like I said before. I hope it doesn't make anybody uncomfortable, but maybe if you see what happened to me, next time you decide to go out and say, I don't need a helmet, I'm only going down the street, you'll put one on. But yeah, that was like I said, this is August 2nd of 2025. It happened October of 24. So, and I want to say I'm 100%. I mean, I still have some injuries that I feel. Obviously, I'm, riding again, which a lot of people had said, you ever going to get on a bike again? I said, yeah, absolutely. I don't have that bike anymore. That was a 2023 ZX6R modified. I now have an Indian. Obviously, you can see I'm an Indian rider. It's a little bit more safer, more upright, more control. I love this bike. Rides smooth. I feel a lot more confident. Oh, that's another thing. I remember Christmas. I didn't ride again. So it happened in October. The first time I got on the bike again was Christmas morning, because I had asked my family to buy me a whole bunch of gear. Ha ha ha. So I put all the gear on and I go on the bike, which the bike had minimal damage. I can't believe I had minimal damage on that bike. And I feel like I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody that went down, but I had PTSD. I was shaking on the bike. I don't know why. I mean, I wasn't being a baby, I mean, nothing like that, but I was shaking on the bike. And it took me, I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. I'd come to a stoplight, and I felt like my back end was sliding when I knew it wasn't. I just was creating things in my head that weren't there. And I don't know if it was just because that bike or my mental state, but I really didn't want to get rid of it, but I had to. It's like an ex-girlfriend that hurts you got to let them go. So I traded her in for this. And I love this bike. I ride it all the time. I'm just a little bit more careful now because you just never know. Especially here in Central Florida, it's just that people are absolutely crazy. That's the turnpike right there. We're actually following my wife to the bakery. Get some pretzels and some stuff. But I wanted to do this vlog, to share my story. It was rough, not gonna lie. And I'm sure people have been in, that watch this have been in wrecks before. I get it. But it was no joke. I will always wear a helmet. No matter where I go, how far I go, how long of a ride it is, where I'm going, it doesn't matter. I put a helmet on. Because literally, it was half a mile down the street. Just half a mile. Like I said, I went to that Dunkin' Donuts with my son many a times. Didn't put a helmet on. Because it was, it's only down the street. No big deal, blah, blah, blah. But it only took one time. One stupid person who didn't know where he was turning and slammed on his brakes to change my life. Hopefully it changed it for the better. It did change my life. There's a reason I guess I'm here. Maybe I hit the street the perfect way. Maybe it is the bone density, who knows? Or maybe I was spared for a different reason, I don't know. But please, if you live in it, if you can tolerate it, wear gear. At least an approved helmet. My son still wears a bucket cap because he has a cruiser. And he says, Dad, you want to try it on? I said, nope. Because even I would have, even if I was wearing that, my head would have been screwed up. So I wear a full face, obviously when I'm vlogging, I have to, but even before I started this channel, I wanted to make sure I always wore it, because you just never know. Look at all these hills. You can see all these hills right in front of me. We're going to it's a little town called Yalaha, very small town, and they have a German bakery. Amazing, amazing bakery. I like to get my pretzels there for work. So that's where we're headed. I needed a destination that I could talk about this, and I guess this is one. Don't pull out. Don't pull out. It's so funny now. My head is on a swivel now. I make sure, especially going through intersections. I look left, right, left, right. I mean, you probably see when I go through intersections in my vlogs, I make people sick, but it is what it is. People just don't look out for you. That's another reason why I wanted this Vance&Hines. You know, when you're heard, you're seen. Hopefully that's true. Plus, I love the sound of this. This bike sounds so awesome now. It's growing on me. A couple videos ago, I said I thought it'd be louder, and it's not loud enough. But it's starting to grow on me. I recommend it, getting this bike if you're thinking about it. And it's so funny, I get compliments everywhere I go. When it's parked, I could just be walking randomly and somebody will walk by and go, "Oh, did you see that Indian? Oh my God, it's a beautiful bike." I go, "Yeah, it's mine." They're like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky." And that's how I feel. Goes through that stop sign. Oh boy. Great pickup. But yeah, that was a fun time. And I'm being sarcastic. Almost dying is never fun. You know, I watch movies and you know, let's say they go to the hospital and they say, "Oh, he has a brain bleed and 4 fractures in his skull and it's a major deal," and I think, "Oh my God, I had that." And it could have been so much worse. Honestly, it could have been way worse. I am so thankful it wasn't worse. But, you know, a lot of people said, "Oh, I'd stop riding," but when something's in your blood, it's in your blood, you know. I'm sure you've been in a car accident, doesn't mean you stop driving, or, you know, whatever you do, that maybe play football, whatever, and you get injured, you don't quit. You just hop right back on. That's what I did. Like I said before, though, I must have had PTSD with that bike, because at least for the first couple times I got back on it after the accident, I had the jitters. And it's funny because it was February when I got this bike, so I had the crash in October. February I got this, and I still felt, "Oh my God, I have this PTSD." I got on this bike at the dealership and it was gone. It's the weirdest thing. It's probably psychological, in my head, whatever, blah blah blah, but it happened. I got on the bike and I felt confident as all hell. God has blessed me. Give all glory to Him. You know, and that's when you really find out who your friends and the people that care about you, is when you almost die. And I had a lot of them. So thankful. You know, I thought this video was going to take a longer time than it did. That's why I wanted a pretty further destination, but I don't think I have to beat this dead horse. I think the point is across that I care about all you riders. So if I could get it through to your heads that wear a helmet, I did my job. And it's so funny now, I could be in a car or anywhere and I'll pass a biker without a helmet on and and I just wish I could stop them and say, you know, not lecture them per se, but tell them, oh my God, I almost died doing the same thing you did. And I mean, I'm not a super experienced rider. I'm not saying I am. I'm definitely not. But, you know, I didn't think it would happen to me. You know, I wasn't, you know, speeding out of control. I wasn't, maybe was riding a little too close to the car in front of me. I probably was, now that I think about it. But I mean, I squeezed the front brake and the back brake same time. I do it all the time. It's not like I did anything wrong. And there we go. That's what happened. You know, I'm noticing that I pointed my camera a little too far to the bottom. I hope to God when I review this video, I didn't lose it. Or it's not facing the ground. Good news is I can say it all again on the way home, because this seems to be only a one. It's only going to be a one. I only need one way to say the story. Somewhere in the middle of this, I'll show some pictures. No, not to, you know, gross you out or anything, but they're not that bad. I mean, it's not like I have brain hanging out or anything. But to, you know, show you guys how serious it could be. This motovlogging's fun though, especially when you have the right equipment. 35 miles an hour. I think we're coming up to it. It's a beautiful bakery. It's German. They have sandwiches. Maybe. If they don't have music on, I'll take a little video of inside there so you can see. Alright, now we're coming up to a place called Howie in the Hills, where the police officers are brutal. So I am going to slow down. Well, you just saw my hand go in front of the camera. I was seeing if it had unlatched, and it hasn't, so hopefully this is good video. Yeah, this is a small little town. I think they have 2 police officers. Yeah, right there, Howie in the Hills. Just passed a bunch of bikers. I still have to get involved in a biker group. They have them all over Florida. I just have to hook up with one. I don't care if it's sport or cruiser. I'm a sport bike rider by nature. Love them. It's just you got to pick your battles when your family begs you to get rid of it. You know, and I'm sure out there's guys whose wives won't leave them alone about getting rid of their bike. Ah, get rid of your bike. Get rid of your bike. It's too dangerous. Get rid of your bike. There's a police officer right there. And luckily, mine didn't do that. My family didn't do that. They just said, we'd rather you not have that bike. So I took the high road instead of arguing and got this bike. And you know, I don't regret it. You won't either. But I think if this channel does grow, and God, I hope it does, I already told my wife that I will be getting a sport bike, so I can vlog on that. And what didn't go over well, but it is what it is. I see these other vloggers, K, Fast Lane, they have all these bikes. It must be so awesome to be able to pick and choose a different bike to vlog on. And I want to be a part of that. Those guys pretty much were my inspiration watching. You know? I don't have to tell you to subscribe to their channel. ask you if you could subscribe to mine. I'm not a rich guy. I don't have a ton of money. Pay my bills, comfortable. Have a lot of doctor bills. But it would be nice to become a part of YouTube's partner program and be able to do different trips on different bikes. It would be pretty cool. Again, hit like and subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell. Tell me what you think of the video. It really helps. Like I said, I think I have 40, as of this video, I have 47 subscribers. But what the good news is, I don't want just subscribers that are not going to tune in, which some people do. You know, I'm not going to send it to my family members who are not going to watch. I generally want people to watch my videos that are interested in my videos. And hopefully the YouTube analytics sees that and recommends this video to the right audience. So far I've gotten nothing but positive feedback, and even if it's negative feedback, it's still feedback. There's probably things I'm going to have to change. I get it. Or things that I'm saying that you might not agree with, which that's fine too. When you put a video out on a platform, you have to expect the good and the bad. So that doesn't bother me at all. But those subscribers, that really helps, and the views and the likes, and I mean, I value it all. Honestly, didn't realize this was that far away. I remember it being a little closer than this. I guess when you're on a motorcycle, everything seems further away. And they say these are dangerous roads. I don't see how they're dangerous, but everybody always, there's a whole bunch of always motorcycle accidents on these roads. I mean, they look pretty safe to me. One lane, not like people are riding in and out of each other. No lane splitting or anything like that. I guess just people fall, you know, or lazy drivers and don't pay attention. There it is, Yalaha. That's where we're at, so we must be close. I mean, depending on, I'm sure it's going to be busy. I don't know if I want to stand in there with a phone videotaping, but maybe I will. Maybe I just won't say anything, but you can at least see the bakery I'm going to. If not, whatever. Only in fourth gear. But this, I'll tell you, the shifter on this bike is amazing. Although I will say this, there we are. When I started, all of a sudden, when I put this Vance&Hines on, it stalls a little bit more, and I do know that this bike is susceptible to that. I see it in a lot of videos. This place is also a stop for bikers. Every time we come, there's at least one or two bikers in here. There's a couple. There's one. Alright, we're back again to finish the video. I was going to take you into that bakery, but ended up talking to some bikers, really nice ones, and it never happened. So we're on our way home, going to finish the video. Again, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, listening to my story. Please wear a helmet, gear if you have it. If you don't have it, get it. And stay safe out there, because people are crazy. They don't want to look out for you. Most of them think we don't deserve to be on the road with them, or what, blah blah blah. But so they really don't pay attention. And where I live in Florida, it's a lot of elderly people. They definitely don't pay attention. So I have to be extra careful. So anyway, folks, have a good day. If you're riding today, stay safe. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification, because I'm putting on videos pretty regularly now. At least 1 or 2 a week, so it's not like I'm gonna not, you know, every couple months I put one on. So I really appreciate your time. Guys, have a blessed day.